Growth top line looked pretty good, more than 20%. Perhaps the guide was tepid. Tell me, how are you thinking about the next few months in terms of growth versus profitability?
Yeah, thanks for having us on. It was a great quarter, up 22% year over year. Our enterprise sales revenue was up 129% year over year and now comprises 23% of our total business. So, we went public in September of 2018 with a commitment to grow this enterprise business, and we've shown some really nice acceleration, and we delivered 3% operating margin in the quarter. So we've been able to balance that really healthy top-line growth with disciplined profitability, and we think that is critical for not just for us but other businesses as well. You've got to demonstrate you've got product market fit, but also do it in a profitable nature.
And how is that affecting the types of decisions that you're making? I mean, are you shifting gears, pulling different levers by deciding to show that profitability versus invest in the business more quickly? Could you drive more top-line growth if you wanted to, but you're viewing this as discipline?
Yeah, I think it's a great question, John. There is always the ROI you're looking for from your investments, whether it's in R&D and products, or it's on the engineering front, or it's in your go-to-market and sales. And we are constantly looking at the metrics in terms of the productivity and the health of our business. So, we have new features and products we want to deliver, new marketing campaigns we want to launch, and then building out that sales footprint. And we just make sure we hold ourselves accountable and have a board of directors that holds us accountable for delivering on that ROI. So we think that rule of 40, where you're growing top line greater than 20%, but also delivering free cash flow. Our free cash flow, unlevered free cash flow in the quarter was 29%.
Now tell me about Salesforce. Salesforce was mentioned 22 times on the earnings call. You name-checked Mark Benioff and his New York Times op-ed. Salesforce did invest in your IPO last year. Is this a case where for CRM, for that space that you're playing in, Salesforce is your platform of choice versus SAP, which is playing with Qualtrics, a competitor, versus Adobe Experience Cloud? Is this a battle of platforms and you've picked your horse?
Well, I think Salesforce really wrote the book on SaaS, and we think, they have hundreds of thousands of customers. I would argue that hundreds of thousands of them need enterprise survey software. If you have a Salesforce instance and you have products or services you sell, Salesforce is committed to delivering right by their customers, and that means you need to collect feedback from the people who matter to your business. So we made a really strategic acquisition with Get Feedback, founded by ex-Salesforce execs. They're dialed in terms of the sales engineers and account executives, and we wanted to deliver the best software and integrations we can for that Salesforce ecosystem. Salesforce, Microsoft, Adobe, our biggest efforts are really in Salesforce and Microsoft right now. And to say we're betting on those platforms, you bet. We feel like Qualtrics is aligned with SAP. We'll pick Salesforce and Microsoft all day, and we feel like there's a massive customer base that we can sell SurveyMonkey into.
Zander, I want to shift gears a little bit. 3 years ago today, Donald Trump won the election to become president of the United States, stunned the world, in part because so many of the polls and surveys that were out there didn't actually indicate that was what was going to happen. As we go into another election cycle, what's changed, at least from a technology standpoint, regarding accuracy and how polling is going for 2020?
Sure, it's a hot question, Morgan, and it's an important one. About 25 million questions are answered on the SurveyMonkey platform every day. So we use data science and machine learning to infuse as much survey methodology as we can so that our customers can ask better questions. And really, when you're asking questions, whether it's in elections or healthcare, FinServ, CPG, you want to ask questions to elicit a really good response rate and then make sure the quality of that data informs whatever decision you're trying to make, whether it's launch a product or an election media campaign. We learned a lot in that election about representation of where people were answering questions, and we used a lot of those learnings to make our products better. But nothing's perfect, and elections are very volatile and difficult to predict. I'm sure the 2020 election will be even more volatile than the 2016 election. But I think the message for everybody in the business world is really you've got to be asking questions of your stakeholders, your customers, your employees, your shareholders, your voters, to make sure that whatever call you're trying to make is the right one. It needs to be informed by people's opinions.
Yeah, asking the right questions, harder than it sounds. Take it from me. Zander, thank you.
Thank you, John. Thanks,
we
Morgan.
should also mention CNBC does partner with SurveyMonkey for small business surveys.